It had been a long time since I had felt many things. Freedom, for instance. Freedom from the daily days. It had been a long time since I had felt the sun burning down on my face and chest. It had been a long time since I felt calm and sweaty and humid like the sea on a hot and windless day. It had been a long time since I had felt eternal like childhood memories, engraved by a nipple from the breast that had fed my young being with love. Yes, it had been a long time since I felt the urgings of love, urgings drilling adrenaline out of my glands and arteries. The sea was lapping gently like a lazy cat against the side of the boat, and the captain tossed the sun-bleached rope back onto shore, and he raised the anchor. The old motor chugged and came alive, almost drunkenly, to take us across the bay to the island. And then I noticed the girl sitting on the other side just opposite me, looking at the town slowly fading away behind us. I had never seen her before. She seemed about my age, but somehow younger. Japanese and sleek like a Walkman with skin and flesh. And then she turned to me with eyes that plugged right into mine, like roots to trees, glistening, reaching in dark, angling oriental sabers. And then she smiled in her short flowery dress made from flimsy polyester, tissue full of color and exotica, transparent, translucent, transcendent, filled with engaging body, and my eyes again met hers. And after almost a heartbeat can die, we turned and watched the bay together opening behind us. The seagulls followed overhead, and I looked at her toes. Toes in tongs, speckled with grains of sand and dried seaweed. And the motor continued to chug along, and the sea drenched in Indian summer tan. The captain kept his back to us. His eyes were fixed ahead at the horizon, the distant boats, and the unseen island. I realized that moments like this in my past in the subway or in a restaurant, I let them slip through my fingers. I didn't let my true emotions and thoughts flow, but now it felt different. And as I was thinking all this, she just casually looked away at the sky. She seemed made from virgin porcelain and fresh latex. I felt like instant virility with hot sweat and graying chest hair all unbuttoned and open, soaking in the air and heat. And then she turned to me again and held her geisha-like gaze fixed on me like threads to a needle, dark sparkles in her eyes. So I moved over to her side, and I told her my name. And she stared, smiled, seeming so content. It was like I hadn't moved at all. She kept smiling like I was still on the other side of the boat. I took her hand in mine and felt the fineness and softness of her manicured fingers, and she continued to smile. I spoke. I told her where I was from, and she smiled. I asked her where she was from, and she smiled. I asked her where she was going, and she smiled, almost like a puppy that had found its favorite ball or toy. So, we didn't speak the same language. In time, we could both learn and relearn the magic of synthesis through experiments in time. The boat picked up speed, And then the sea got a bit choppy, and the motion of the ocean made her slide just a bit closer to me. I put my arm around her, and I held my breath while the pheromones in my system percolated like atoms in a rainbow. I felt my lips with my teeth and tongue, moistening the fruit of this long-awaited and destined passion. But as I held her hands, I realized how dry and calm she was. I wondered if she could smell the salt in the air, or the sardines on my breath. I began to massage her neck. At the bottom of her neck and down around her shoulders until I finally came, and I cupped one of her breasts in my hand. That's when she screamed like a gull, full of gunshot burning in its wings, and the Spanish sailor attacked me from his place at the helm, wielding an old blackjack. He slammed my head with a muffled blow, and it knocked me out. And I woke up on the boondock on the island alone. The girl wasn't there, and neither was the boat. I was bruised and bloated, like a leftover tomato with dark patches on its skin. I cried as I imagined her nylon nose and polyester dress, my non-pheromone Asiatic angel, like a mermaid molded from perspex.